Good afternoon and welcome to the T20 show on Radio 44. Joining us in the studio is Mr. Jimmy Rayani-Past, chairman of KCA from 1994 to 2004, elected director of ICC for 7 years and of course a practicing advocate of the High Court of Kenya since 1966. Welcome to the show, Mr. Jimmy.
Thank you, Bhargav.
All right, let's get into the zone. I have a lot of questions for you. Starting off, Amina Mohammed, the Cabinet Secretary, has appointed Cricket Kenya Normalization Committee to be looking after the election process that's set to take place this year for Cricket Kenya. So could you just run us through the role of the committee for this elections that are going to be overlooking the elections formed by Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohammed?
Well, let's put it this way. It's a good move. Kenya cricket has been ailing for a long, long time, and something had to be done. The committee which has been appointed for normalization, I personally think that there should have been some outsiders but who know cricket.
That was actually my next question. Okay, yes, continue.
Right? I can even throw a name like Elias Mokori, one of the brilliant writers on sports and in cricket. He doesn't belong to any of the sides,
right,
who are quabbling at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So important thing should have been to get somebody with a little background who is neutral.
Right.
The 2 or 3 sides which are squabbling at the moment, that is our problem.
Mm-hmm.
And how can we stop this squabbling is important.
Right.
Because in the process of them squabbling, they spend their time and energy on squabbling than looking after the cricket. Right? Unfortunately, I had suggested a year ago in a talk show or something like that, that we should get away from this voting system which says winner takes it all.
Right.
There is a system called proportionate representation, right? Which is there are 10 vacancies to be filled, and you have 10 stakeholders.
Yeah.
One side has got 6 votes, so on every position they'll win the seat, right? That vacancy will be filled by them. So those who had 4 get nothing.
Right.
Right? Under proportional representation system, in the end result will come, 6 will go to one side,
yes,
and 4 to the other side.
So there is a balance.
There is a balance,
right,
and they have a say in running of the cricket, even if you didn't win.
Yes,
outright.
And that's required because it's for cricket. It's for the betterment of the nation.
Absolutely.
So it's not my thing or your thing.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one, correct. And if you didn't know, basically the Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohammed has formed this committee, and the committee has no cricketers. That's what we mentioned. Jimmy mentioned about that no cricketing background of any of the committee members was seen. They are all basically lawyers. But I think that's also somewhere, in a way, they just want to look over the election process and not have a say in anything. That's why they probably went for such a committee that didn't know anything about cricketing but just know everything about law. Probably that's something that they went for. Now, my other question for you would be, what changes would you say are required to be done from the management level to see the Kenyan cricket team going far and beyond that we've seen in the past on international stage?
Well, basically, I think the important thing is to start our development program going, really. And on management, on many occasions, I am member of KCA, sports subsector, and we have proposed to the ministry that every association, cricket and other association, should have a scorecard.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
on their performance.
On their performance. The scorecard is kept by outside non-interested parties.
Right.
Right? Whether it's football, and they should have a scorecard on their management, on their accounts, on their governance,
Right.
and all those aspects of it. Once you have an outside group
Yes.
keeping a scorecard, it is useful to the ministry when dispensing with the funds.
Correct.
If you have a good scorecard, Safaricom or Radio 424 will want to join in and support that sport. So
Yes,
this has been on the
Agenda.
discussion
Yeah.
for a long time.
Right.
But when you said the management, irrespective, we have a new constitution, we'll have something, but they should all be accountable
Yes.
and on regular basis, including having a general meeting every 3 months
Yeah.
where public can come but may not ask the question, but the press and everybody can ask the question of what they have achieved in last 3 months and what is their program going
forward. Yes, that's something that would be
and
very
that should
crucial.
be captured in a scorecard.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So the stakeholders, everybody, a cricket player playing cricket on the weekend and all that,
yeah.
has some information coming. Some of these things, problems start because there is no information coming.
Relate. That is very true. Well, keep it right here because Jimmy is going nowhere. We have a lot of questions for him coming through. And if you have any question, do hit us up on 0758123444. For now, I've got Salim Merchant and Sunidhi Chauhan taken off the movie Band Baja Barat. It is Eve Eve.
Magic is in the air.
Calvin Harris and Sam Smith with promises playing for right here on the T20 show, and we are joined with Jimmy Rayani. He is here in the studio, past chairman of KCA 1994 to 2004, elected director of ICC for 7 years, and a practicing advocate of the High Court of Kenya since 1966. We have a lot of questions for him. Priyanka, you have some, I know.
I do. Mr. Rayani, for people who don't know what Cricket Kenya is, what their mandate is, what have you to say? What is Cricket Kenya? What do they thrive for?
Well, in few words, basically they are supposed to organize and look after the cricket in Kenya, right? From organizing competitions, from development program they have to do, represent Kenya on ICC, other regional bodies and all that. So they are in charge of doing all that is cricket,
Right,
basically.
right. Now, given everything that you said, Cricket Kenya hasn't done that in a few years. So where do you think we started going wrong? Because we haven't seen the sight of an international platform in some time. So when did this ship start sinking?
Well, I let's not go into blame games. but-
Absolutely. Politically correct.
No, basically, we made a lot of changes which should not have happened from beginning of 2020 onwards. Whether we did not run our program of new players, development, coaching and all that. So that was part of the thing. The other part was the internal squabble,
Yeah.
right? Those who are not in power or officials want to not only want the body to do correct things, but the idea was to destroy them.
Right.
In Kiswahili, it's called kikulacho, which means what eats from you from within.
Yeah.
So the internal squabbles and all that led to the eventual drop in our standards, which is sad. And we all love cricket. So we need to get together as stakeholders, not only as players,
Yes.
but as Kenyans.
Very true.
Very true, yeah.
In fact, we've got some messages coming in. Mitesh, you want to read out
Yes,
those?
one of our listeners has asked, from what you've just explained, do you think of any potential strong candidate for such leadership? And if yes, is there a past or a current person who can dedicatedly lead this to a successful tenure?
Without any self-expectations.
Mitesh, first of all, I would be preempting the new constitution
Yeah.
and preempting the new elections which will take place, right? Basically, I would say the chairman, the leader, let's call them the leader, the chairman. The chairman should not be a person only to chair meetings. He should be a leader, a statement, who has got a vision, who comes and said, this is my agenda.
Yes.
This is what I'm going to do in my term of office, like the American presidential elections and all that. Maybe there should be some kind of vetting also. Just like a judge is not appointed of the High Court without going through a vetting process.
Yes.
Because the voters sometimes don't know who they're casting
Correct.
vote for. So some kind of vetting and some kind of leadership we require. Basically, as I said, I wouldn't like to guess or tell who it should be, but one thing I can tell you, it's not me. No, not that I love cricket, and that's why we are all here.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And talking to lovers of cricket.
Correct.
Yeah.
I am there to help cricket in whatever way we want to, without holding any position.
Right.
Right? We want to get it right. Maybe with all this, I would like to be part of the start a supporters club, Friends of Kenya Cricket.
Yeah.
Right? We have following all over the world, Canada, England,
Yes, we do.
ex-East Africans there and all that. On that score, in 2002, 1 and 2, we were going to form a supporters club, fans club.
Right.
And we had identified almost 10,000 members across the world
Yeah.
who would give you $100 per year. They'll get something out of in return, our shirts, priorities and all that. That didn't work out, but let's see.
Maybe now.
Maybe now we can start once we get our house in order.
Yes.
Let's start that.
I think that would be a lovely
Priyanka,
idea.
you, let's all get together.
Yes, I think that would be a lovely idea. If you have any questions for Jimmy, do hit us up on 0758 123 444.
We've got nothing but IPL on our minds. This is the T20 show on Radio 44. This is Radio 44's T20 show with Toy World, the ultimate super toy store.
That is right. This is the T20 show right here on Radio 44, and I still have with me Jimmy Rayani, a man with a lot of knowledge, especially about cricketing and law. So my question now to you, Jimmy, is you mentioned about the young talent not getting a chance to make it to the Kenyan team. A commercial company is conducting training at Gymkhana for quite some time. But does that actually help the Kenyan development program, or does it not? Because most of the students that are attending this program are of affluent backgrounds, if I may say. Hardly any indigenous people. Many people who might love the game but can't afford to attend such training. So it's a catch-22 right there. What do you have to say about this?
No, basically, whoever is running that camp is doing a good job.
Yeah.
But when you look in terms of the numbers, if you want to improve your standards, take it to a next stage, you have to spread that camps, training program all over Kenya, grassroots. Let the locals come in, whoever can't afford. We have seen underprivileged people coming up in sports.
Yes.
But you need to reach out to them first.
Right.
Right? And unfortunately, cricket is not football. You give him a football and he starts playing.
Yes.
I think for that program to go off the ground and solidly, the government needs to come in also, right? Unfortunately for cricket and most of the sports, there is no funding from the government. In fact, recently, 2-3 years ago, sports lottery was launched. And I believe sometimes last year, $1 billion shilling was received by the Ministry of Sports from this sports lottery. That funds were never used for spreading the sports.
Oh.
Right? So the government has to get their priority right.
Right.
Every time you hear politicians, I'm going to build a stadium of 20,000 in Kisumu or wherever it is. Your standards don't improve by big stadiums.
It's by the players.
It's the people you have
Correct.
playing it.
Correct.
Playing it,
Well said, yes.
right? And it's not cost effective because if that stadium is used 20 or 30 times a year, the billions of shillings you are spending is a waste.
Yes.
So we need to start whole process to be rethought, because every politician says, "Oh, I'm going to build a stadium." Come on, man.
That doesn't help anyone.
It doesn't help.
More stadiums and players.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, I've got another question that says, at one point many years ago, the Kenyan cricket team was a force to reckon with. They even beat West Indies in the World Cup in 1996. Why do you think the performance of the Kenyan team over the years has become so dismissal? Is it that there's no talent out there? Or is it what you just mentioned, that, we're investing in structures rather than the people?
Well, that's partly true. I think I also answered earlier on that we didn't invest enough because of limited funds and resources in new players coming in. Beginning of 2000.
Yeah.
Right? And then there was the internal squabble and that ego and everything comes into play and all that. That has brought us down.
True.
But let's look forward. Hopefully, a new dawn we will see very soon.
Yes, after the elections, let's hope that happens. And if you have any questions for Jimmy, please do message us on WhatsApp or text us, or even get calling. He can answer you on the phone. 0758 123 444 is the number to do so. The last hum, that alap, is by none other than Sonu Nigam with Natalie Zest. That was a fire in the sky, playing for you right here on the T20 show on Radio 44. And I have with me Jimmy in the studio, who is an ex-KCA chairman, also a director of ICC and a lawyer at the High Court. Man of many talents right here with us. And I've got a question for you from one of our listeners. As most cricket is played at club level, what would you recommend to them to support this, given that NPCA, CCA and RVCA are not registered under the Sports Act? What happens to cricket if clubs refuse to provide facilities? And how would the new constitution cater for that?
Basically, the Nairobi Provincial Cricket Association, Coast Cricketers, they all fall under Cricket Kenya.
Yes.
So they cannot be independently registered under the Societies Act and the Sports Act. That's what I believe. Right?
Right.
Coming to the clubs, I think all these clubs you are talking about who have Nairobi Gymkhana and all that, the members are privileged members, higher up in the society. I think they should open up and give service to underprivileged and all that. Right? They should have their own program, not only for the members, but all those people in that vicinity.
Correct.
If we had 20 clubs doing that, whether in Nanyuki or Kisumu and all that, we'll have numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll have numbers. And there might be some resistance from some club, but it's the way you approach them. Right?
True.
How
Very
you
true.
talk to them.
Yeah.
It's their social responsibility as well.
That is actually very true. And you'll get talents that probably could not come up because of being at a certain position.
Privilege.
Yeah, at a certain
Yeah.
privilege.
Yeah.
You know, so that will definitely help. I think, you've given two very crucial things. One is having a support group on social media and, just going after them where the fans get to interact with the management and the teams and their voices be heard. And this one of the clubs giving a social responsibility like CSR.
CSR, yeah.
For people who cannot be part of the members association of the club, but still get a chance to showcase their talent. That's lovely. Thank you so much, Jimmy. It's been a pleasure having you here. And any parting thoughts from you, depending whether it's on Cricket Kenya, whether it's on the elections that are actually going to be held 7th and 9th, between 7th and 9th of July, and then all of the duties handed over in August. So if you have any suggestion on that or also anything else.
Well, I hope the normalization gets it right. Eventually, I said, you may have a new constitution, but if there are splits and different groups, then we are not going to solve the problem.
Right.
That's why I said it should be all inclusive. That's why I talked about proportional representation. Let everybody feel part and parcel of the same object.
Super. That's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Jimmy. And again, before you go, which team do you support for IPL?
Well, Priyanka,
He supports Chris Gale. Wherever Chris Gale goes, Mr. Rayani goes.
It's not wherever Chris Gale goes. Chris Gale is the universe boss. The rest follow.
Right, he's just there.
Well, Punjab Kings it is. I'll let you whether they farewell or not. Thank you so much once again, Jimmy, for
Thank
coming
you.
back.
You're welcome.
All right, up next I've got Pedal Ranking and Diamond Platinums. Beautiful African track, Love You Die.